Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to visit a YouTuber called Busy Bee Diet, and Busy Bee Diet is going to explain why she stopped being a Slimming World consultant and started counting calories. I hope you enjoy.
And I think it's important to understand kind of where that comes from. So I spent 4 years, just over 4 years, nearly 4.5 years with Slimming World, 2 years as a member beforehand. And then I trained and became a consultant. And then I spent 2 years being a consultant. So I have spent a long time in and around that world. So if you're at Slimming World and it's working for you, incredible. Keep going, do the best you can. If it stops working at some point, the same as if it stops working with any other plan, then it's worthwhile looking at all the options that you've got available to you. So in terms of my story and where it came from, I struggle with my weight. I've struggled with my weight for a very long time. We're talking 14, 15 years of my adult life. And I joined Slimming World because prior to that, I had worked for Weight Watchers. So I've been through, I suppose, and I not only worked for them, I'd been a member for them before. So you go through that scenario. You're a member, then you train, you become a leader or a consultant or a coach, and then you work for them. So I've been working in weight loss for 14 years. So in lockdown one, I was really struggling, as were members massively struggling with getting the weight losses that they wanted. And I could constantly feel myself saying things that didn't feel necessarily like they were perhaps the whole truth to members. So partly because I was doing exactly the same myself and not getting the results I wanted.
That's interesting. You don't really see too many situations where people try to come clean online. So when I came across this, I just thought, oh, I want to share this with folks. Number one, Slimming World is pretty popular because there's a ton of videos online about it, right? I assume it started, in England as opposed to America, but I could be wrong, and if I am, let me know down in the comments. But again, I'm not used to seeing somebody saying, hey, I was trying the program, it was working for me, but then it stopped, and all of a sudden I'm telling half truths to people. I thought this was kind of juicy.
I had members and myself doing that and still not getting the result that I wanted. So in lockdown one, I retrained independently, completely independently in nutrition. I did it through an external place. It was literally just the science of nutrition rather than all of the, I suppose, the slant that any kind of brand puts on it. I just wanted to know the facts. And I wanted to look at that from my own experiences. So I started then applying that knowledge that I was learning into what I was doing day by day. And at this point, by the way, I was still a consultant. I was still looking after members week after week. So I started calorie counting and just questioning some of the things that I had been told over time. And, as I've said before, if it's working for you, amazing. If it's not working for you, if you're struggling, if your consultant is saying to you, like I was saying to my members, if you're 100% on plan, then you'll lose weight, then this is perhaps that light bulb moment that you need. Okay, so I had this moment where I started working out the calories of what my on-plan day would have looked like. Okay, so let me work through it with you. So lunch, I would have had a jacket potato with cheese and beans. It's a very typical on plan, absolutely. So I'd have had a large jacket potato or two small ones because they are part of the unlimited foods that you can have. So that would have worked out to be around 300 calories. I'd had a whole tin of beans, again, part of the unlimited quantity of foods you can have, so as much as you want. That's 324 calories. And I'd have had 30 grams of cheese on the top of mine. And that would have given me 117-ish sort of calories of cheese, depending on your cheese. That would mean for lunch alone would work out to be 741 calories. If I then look at probably the staple of kind of breakfast in terms of Slimming World, then let's look at overnight oats. So overnight oats, my version of it worked out to be as follows: 40 grams worth of oats, which is around about 156 calories. 200 grams worth of fat-free Greek yogurt, that's 108. 100 grams worth of frozen berries, 38 calories. So the total for breakfast, 302. Let's look at dinner then. One of my favourite kind of ones, and one that the group would always, or groups, I ran 3 different groups, had licenses for 3 different groups. So I was a multiple franchisee, had 3 different groups. I ran 4 sessions over those 3 groups, and then I would look after another group too. So I'm running sort of 5 sessions a week with hundreds of members split across them.
This is fascinating. She's totally drinking the Kool-Aid. This is not only her world within her own body, but this is her career. And it sounds to me like it's a successful career, but she's really having this inner battle with herself because she doesn't think her plan is necessarily the smartest plan. Why? Because she, like Sherlock Holmes, decided to look at the evidence and she simply counted the calories and figured out she's not going to lose weight this way. I find that fascinating.
So one of the favourites would then be something like homemade spaghetti bolognese. And mine would work out something like this. So I would buy a big pack of mince. So I'd have about half of that, so about 250 grams worth of mince. Again, it's on that unlimited kind of quantity of stuff you can have, which is about 310 calories. Half a can of chopped tomatoes, 50 calories. Half a carton of passata, because that's how we would make my sauce, 53 calories. 8 calories for about 100 grams worth of mushrooms, 50 grams worth of onions, so about kind of 20 calories for that. Half of red pepper, so around about kind of 100 grams, I suppose, of my red pepper I would chuck in. I would tend to fish out more bits than the other half would have because I like it more. So around 31 calories for that. And I would just kind of chuck in my spaghetti because it was dried and never had to measure it and then to have a look at a portion size. I could just chuck it in. I've since looked at that portion size and it works out to be about 120 grams worth of spaghetti. That is a whopping 480 calories. So that lot, completely unlimited quantities of food, you can have as much of that as you want to be able to have. No questions, no queries, no nothing. That totally adds up to 952 calories. So in my day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, 100% on plan. I've not stepped outside anything I'm being given. That totals to 1,995 calories for just that one day. Now, on top of that, let's make this a real day. I would have about 150 calories worth of milk in my tea and coffee. I'd have a packet of crisps. So that's the ones I would have would normally be around sort of 120, 130 kind of calories. A banana, so another 80 to 100 calories worth of banana. Loads of sugar-free squash over the course of the day, 40 calories. A small chocolate treat, because I would still be allowed that to be fully on plan, around kind of 100, 200-ish sort of calories for that. So that adds up to somewhere between another sort of 490 to 620 calories on top of my 1995. So overall, for my day, completely within what I could have, and this is my experience, it may not be yours, this is my personal experience, my 100% plan day, feeling completely in control, would work out to be somewhere between sort of 2,485 and 2,615 calories. So what do I need to lose weight? About 1,500. That's my height, age, weight, gender, and the amount of activity I do. If I want to maintain weight, I need 2,100-ish calories. So doing that day after day, using the same stuff, applying the same rules, feeling like I'm on plan, but getting incredibly frustrated that not seeing the weight losses that I wanted, was because although I was doing that, I was still consuming too many calories. And the science clearly tells us, and in fact, most weight loss plans are based on the fact that it's calories in versus calories out. However they wrap it up, however they package it, whether you're looking at things like keto, whether you're looking at Weight Watchers, whether you're looking at Slim Fat, like the basis of it all is that they want you to be able to be consuming less calories out, less calories in, than the calories that you are having out. That's how it works. That's how our bodies work. That's the best science we have available to us. I made the switch then to calorie counting, and since then I've gone on to lose over 3 stone. I obviously don't work for them. I stopped working for them in August last year, so August 2020. I have set up something on my own. I'm completely transparent about that. And I champion more people being in control of their choices and also having a healthier relationship with the food that they are having.
So she changed companies and now she's working for herself and now she's drinking her own Kool-Aid. You know, the truth is I didn't hear anything in there about exercising and stuff. I love walking because I feel like it gives you the ability to cheat a little. But at the same time, if you do eat a lot, right, you are going to gain weight. You have to be cognizant of that, right? I don't know if I'm a big calorie counter. My thinking is if you eat oatmeal, if you drink water, if you walk a lot, if you avoid the junk food, you're naturally not going to be, super duper hungry. But if you do get a little bit overweight, sometimes you have to count calories, right? So I like the idea that she came down to earth on that. But at the same time, I always look at it from a money point of view. It sounds like she wants you to come join her new thing. but I want you to join my thing. Go get your shoes. Let's go for a walk. Good morning, venters. Oh my goodness. I have chills right now. I recently opened a Buy Me a Coffee account. And I don't even drink coffee. I was gonna call it a Buy Me a Mercedes account, but I thought that would be too much. But anyway, I wanna let you guys know, quite a few of you guys have purchased me a coffee. And I just want you to know how incredibly giddy I feel about that. You know, it's very hard that you find in life that somebody that you don't really know, right, that you just meet online via YouTube, it's very hard to imagine people like that actually going out of their pocket and helping you with your goal. And so Mr. Ayton, Mrs. Maurer, and whoever the heck Cola Styles is, between the three of you guys sent me so many coffees, and it's just like, wow, what a way to know that the Lord has your back, that the people have your back. That's what I'm talking about. That is wonderful. So I wasn't really planning on it, but now I'm thinking that maybe tomorrow we'll take another field trip. Okay, so check this out. Not only am I giddy about that, God, I literally have chills. Thank you guys. You guys have no idea. Sometimes we feel like we're on an island, but I'll tell you what, if you put me on Venter Island, then that's the island I want to be on. How about you guys? God, you can tell I'm happy. Smiling from ear to ear. That is just an incredible feeling. Thank you guys for giving me that dopamine hit. Oh my God, that is addictive. I don't even need breakfast this morning, but I will when I get home. I'll have some plain oatmeal. Will you guys have a bowl of plain oatmeal with me? So right now you guys are watching a video on oat Zempic. I don't recommend anybody eat oat Zempic. I recommend you just have a bowl of oatmeal. It seems so much more pleasant. I don't think when you mix lime juice with oatmeal and then you throw in a pinch of cinnamon, I think it's gonna taste like Cinna Yucky, not Cinna Yummy. You know what I mean? So check this out. I'm watching a couple minutes of Ross Coulthart's interview with Lou Elizondo. And he gives this story. Did you guys hear this? He tells this story of a surgeon trying to remove what looked like a tumor from a gentleman's body. And apparently the tumor started running away from the surgeon. Could you imagine opening up a body or a cavity into a person's body, and you're reaching in with your instruments, you're trying to cut out or pull out or remove in some way, shape, or form some sort of cyst or some sort of something or another. You grab at the thing and it starts fishing its way lower into the flesh. Oh my God, that's kind of creepy. Yet whenever they pull it out, it's not like it looks like a microchip or something. It just looks like a big glop of crap. So again, am I sold on that one? Not necessarily. Good morning, how are you? Not necessarily am I sold on the idea, but at the same time, that would be kind of weird. Could you imagine that surgeon and telling his wife about that later that night? If he was even allowed to speak about it, probably not. But imagine if you were that surgeon. Empathize, if you will. You're sitting there trying to cut out a piece of crap from someone's body and all of a sudden it starts moving. That sounds trippy. But you want to know something? If you were to pull out a worm or some sort of parasite, I have a feeling that as you grabbed it, it would probably try to wiggle around and move as well. So again, is this a parasite from another dimension or from outer space or another being out there that's not human? I don't know. But still, it seemed like a heck of a story. If you guys caught any of that interview, It was on News Nation. I think you guys should check that out. It was really an interesting thing to hear. I wasn't expecting that. But I'll tell you what I was expecting. I heard a super interesting story on Good News Network. A group of snorkelers found a rare oarfish, O-A-R, oarfish, near La Jolla Cove, California. It's only the 20th oarfish discovered since 1901 in California. In Japanese folklore, this sighting of these oarfish is considered an omen of natural disaster. Ooh, it's often called the Doomsday Fish, okay? But keep in mind, it's been found 20 times since 1901. It was 12 feet tall, but some get as long as 50 foot tall. Look at the picture of this thing. Tell me that's not the creepiest thing ever. They should call it something besides the oarfish, like the oh shit fish, right? Guys, it was found just days before a 4.4 magnitude earthquake in Los Angeles. That's kind of cool, huh? Now the reality is, I don't think those earthquakes are uncommon in California, so I have a feeling, whether they found that oarfish or not, I have a feeling that earthquake was going to happen. From what I understand from Californians that I've met throughout the years, those earthquakes happen all the time. By the way, I feel like I've just woken up from an earthquake. I wasn't expecting all those coffees that you guys got me. So my goodness, thank you so much. You guys have made my day. It's 84 degrees now. I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll call the tunnel summer. And the light at the end of the tunnel is those cooler temperatures. I was reading some back and forth between Rochelle and Lily. You guys are both looking forward to the crunching of the white snow under your shoes when you walk during the winter. So, you know, where I'm thinking you guys are going to have a hard time walking when it snows and stuff, it looks like you guys are already ready for it. So, good for you guys. Nothing's going to slow us down. Remember, the walk must go on. The walk must go on. So remember, sometimes when you actually try to be a beacon of light, when you try to be positive, sometimes those good vibes you throw out there, sometimes people grab those good vibes and they throw them right back at you, right? So think about this. When you put out bad vibes and people catch them and throw them right back at you, you're going to get some bad mojo. But when you throw out good vibes and people like Sean and Mala and whoever this Cola Styles is, when you grab those good vibes and throw them back, holy moly, feels like $1 million. So what do I recommend? I recommend you wake up in the morning, go for a walk, try to be positive, and give a call to your friends and family, see if they want to go see a movie or something this weekend. Is anyone else excited that NFL football is back? I like basketball, I like playoff baseball, I like women's softball, but there's one thing I love more than all of that put together: NFL football. By the way, you want to know who the person was that got me turned on to football? It was my grandma. My grandma absolutely loves sports. So one of the cool things is I feel like my love for sports is because of my grandma. You know, it's funny, right? We all leave behind legacies. What legacy are you going to leave behind? Are you going to leave behind a legacy where people constantly talk about you when you're gone? Talk about how they miss you? You know, I don't know about you, but to me, that feels like immortality. My grandma's been off this planet for 1.5 years, and I still think about her and talk about her constantly. She put so many positive moments in my life that I can grab from and reflect from. So what I'm going to do is this year we're going to go to a mall together. And this year we're going to make some kids have a really nice Christmas. Walk Talk Vent is going to become a Christmas angel, and together we're going to buy some gifts for the kids this year. And if any venters out there want to join me, let me know down in the comments. This year for Christmas, we're going to be a Christmas angel to some kids. And I'm really looking forward to it. And instead of putting my name down as the angel giver, I'm going to put my Grandma Carmen's name down. Because how many people can donate when they're not even on the earth? So Grandma, I'm going to give a miracle to you. You're going to donate even from heaven. So that's really exciting. Gosh, I love my grandma. I wish that she could come back to visit me, even in a dream. But you want to know something? Out of every 100 days, they say you dream every single day. You just don't necessarily remember it, right? I probably remember 2 to 5 dreams out of every 100 days. And usually they're goofy dreams with no meaning, right? But my goodness, I have no idea why I brought up the dreams or whatever. But man, I wish my grandmother would visit me in my dreams. Have you guys ever had a situation like that where maybe a family member or friend passed? And did they ever visit you in your dream? And did you ever try to do some self-analysis of this dream? You know, like, what the heck does this dream mean? You know? That's what one of those things that I find interesting, because there has been quite a few books published through the years on dream analysis. I don't know if dreams are supposed to give us a message of the past, present, or future. I don't know if they're supposed to be omens of good or bad luck, or if maybe it's just the way that the subconscious kind of gets rid of what's kind of going on in its mind, you know? I don't know. All I know is that dreams tend to be really interesting. I think I told you guys once that I had a dream where a guy was at a high school football game, and he was going across the backfield in motion, and he started doing flips or somersaults all the way across. And 2 or 3 days later on the news, I ended up seeing that play in real life. So I have had dreams before that kind of foreshadowed real life events. So this is where I would love for you guys to get a little creative, and in the comments, can you share a weird dream experience that you had? And if you haven't had a weird dream experience worth noting, can you still tell me your thoughts on dreams? Do you think they could be a sign of things to come in the future? Do you think they could be a sign of people talking to us from another realm? In other words, is there meaning to the dreams? Or do you think it's just a collection of weird thoughts that the subconscious goes through, and sometimes it just spits it out to you in the form of a movie that you can watch while you're sleeping? Here's one of the things that I find interesting about dreams. In dreams, no matter how far-fetched the scenario, it sure does seem real, doesn't it? I mean, in a dream, you can live in a world where the sky is red, where the clouds are pink, right? Where the people can fly. And for some reason, when we're in that dream world, we don't think anything of it. One of the dreams that I would love to have, that I had one time in my life, but I would love to have it continuously, is one time I did have a dream where I was kind of flying among the clouds as a bird. The problem is when you wake up, even though you just had the dream, it's kind of like holding sand through fingers that are open, like so. The sand just falls through it, and you just instantly forget it. So one of the things that people do when they want to remember their dreams is they tell them, keep a pad of paper and a pen next to you on the bed, on the little end table. Why? So that when you wake up and it's completely fresh on your mind, you can jot down what your dreams are. The problem is when I wake up in the middle of the night, whether it's to go to the bathroom or from a dream, I look at the clock. And if it says 2, 3, 4 a.m., I'm going back to bed. I'm not going to... The dream could be life-changing, but I don't know if it's important enough for me to write a book about it real quick before I go back to sleep. But again, I'm sure out of all the venters that watch each and every day, I'm sure there's a handful of you, maybe even all of you, that have experienced a weird, bizarre dream. But if none of you have, just know that I don't dream very often either. I do believe, I've heard somewhere, and tell me if you guys have heard this, I have heard that if you eat a lot of cheese before you go to bed, it'll give you nightmares. And I think my grandmother told me that wives' tale, and I think she also told me that if you eat pork
before you go to bed, it'll give you nightmares. I don't know if either of those things are true. To be honest with you, it's very rare that it's 11 or midnight and I'm ready to go to bed and I eat a pork chop real quick. Very rare. I have on occasion had a late night piece of pizza or a cheese crisp, right? But I don't recall them ever giving me nightmares. I have had some scary dreams before. My favorite scary dream that I had 3 days in a row once upon a time was one where I was literally in a zombie movie and zombies were chasing me. Thank goodness they were the slow zombies. Have you ever seen the old zombie movies where they're really just totally slow, right? But then there's some new zombie movies where the zombies are like Olympic sprinters and they can catch you. Like World War Z, tell me that's not a scary zombie movie. And then my favorite one, I forget the name of it now because I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's the one where they're in the mall and the zombies come. I think I like that movie because at the end, it's kind of a bad ending. They get to this island, right? And they think, okay, we're alone. And then right when they arrive at the island, there's more zombies coming at them. So it ends up being a bad ending. But sometimes bad endings are refreshing because, you can't have every movie end with, them walking into the sunset and, everybody's happy. Sometimes the world and dreams aren't like that. Whoa, almost fell. Holy crap, I haven't had an almost fall moment in a long time. So now I'm thinking tomorrow we'll take a little field trip. We'll go somewhere. If we don't, I promise we'll plan it for next week. But I'm thinking tomorrow. I just got to figure a place to go, another park. Positive motivation. And again, I just want to let the venters know I appreciate you. You guys motivate me every day. Remember, when I'm doing this, I have an advantage. I love walking. So if you're thinking that I'm giving you advice that's just going to make you miserable, oh my God, Jesse, you're trying to get us to walk, and I don't like that. Bob, you love your walk. You've been walking with me for a long time, Bob, and you love your walk. There's something very special about the walk. So again, I wasn't BSing you. Get out, find out what Mala and Sean and Lily and everybody are always excited about. They probably haven't had a workout routine that they've done 24/7 for the last year and a half ever in their life. Year and a half, now I'm getting a little out there. We have a plan to walk every single day, and let's all be honest. The only way that's doable is not my words. The only way it's doable is if you go out and make walking your hobby and making it fun. And I just have a feeling that Sean and Mala and me are going to be walking for the rest of our days. And as crazy as this sounds, all three of us really want the rest of you venters to join us. There's something magical about the walk. There's something therapeutic about the walk. Sean and Mala, I never really talked to you guys too much about this, but if you guys could let me know, how is your guys' water intake? Have you increased the water over the last 5 months? Have you decreased some of the sweet teas and some of the sugary drinks? I'd like to know. On the other side of the equation, what about your cake, your donuts, and your candy bars? Are you guys at least trying to slow those down? Mala, I know a couple months back you kind of put the diet soda up on the shelf, but have you started drinking it again? If so, are you not drinking as much? Are you trying to stay hydrated with water? Remember that if we walk, it's a great weapon that we have at our disposal. But if we avoid sugar and drink water, it's kind of like putting super unleaded in the tank, right? We're just amped up and ready to go. And if you can add all three of those aspects, I'm going to walk every day. I'm going to really cut down on the sweet drinks and drink water. And I'm going to cut down on the sweet foods and eat vegetables and fruits. All of a sudden, you can start waking up really nicely in the morning. You can start sleeping better than you ever have. If you eat oatmeal and walk and drink water, you're probably going to get rid of any type of constipation situations that you have. So again, and anybody can answer this. Tell me down below the shocking things that you found by walking, Do you feel like your mental health and happiness, do you feel like that's increased, and do you feel like your stress has decreased? Let me know. Why? Because I want to know that I'm not the anomaly. I want to know that I'm not the only guy that when I'm out here I say, hey, this is easy to detect. This is something where I am visibly in better health. I have a lot of you guys say, hey, Jesse, I watched one of your first few videos. I can really see here how in the upper chest area, instead of having pecs, it looks like you have boobs. It looks like you're kind of puffy like the Michelin Man. And all that can change in just 2 or 3 months. I think what happens is we're so used to things happening in a 3-week scenario or in a 3 or 4 day scenario. And I think we know that walking just doesn't work like that. Drinking water doesn't work like that. And even when you avoid sugar, even though it does work like that eventually, you start getting to the point where weight just flies off of you. It doesn't happen in the first week or 2. So if you're a new person, hear my words. Let them go in one of your ears and get stuck at the other, and let it bounce around in your head for a while. You have found the answer to your prayers. This is the channel where I and Sean and Mala and Lily and the Terry up there in Utah, it's a show where we're all willing to take this journey on with you. And I'd be willing to bet that if you ask every single venter, are there moments where you're the only one in the neighborhood that's walking? I'd be willing to bet that most of them will say yes. There are days where I walk, there are weeks where I walk, where I don't see anybody. That's where you gotta say, you know what, I'm not alone. And even if I was alone, I'm the smart person in the neighborhood because I'm trying to ensure that I'm gonna be the healthiest that I can be. And that's awesome. That is really awesome. All right, let's tell you a fun little story. Once upon a time, I was working in a call center type place, and somebody ran in the door and asked our manager, hey, I'm about to pee my pants. Do you have a bathroom I could use? And the guy looked well-to-do, right? I think he even had like a nice shirt on and nice slacks. And so not thinking anything of it, our manager at the time said, sure, it's in the back, go use the restroom, no problem. So he goes in the restroom and he's in there for a couple minutes, which is no big deal. Maybe he's going number 2 instead of number 1, right? A couple minutes later, he ends up leaving. But instead of going out the front door, he goes out the back door. A couple minutes later, the manager goes in the bathroom that he was at. We had 2 bathrooms. We had a male bathroom and a female bathroom. Now, I went to the female bathroom, not because I was feeling feminine that day, but because we didn't have any females working there. So technically speaking, when there's no females there, you can use the women's bathroom because it was just a single toilet in both bathrooms. So here's the crazy thing. Because there's no women and because the men's bathroom was in the far back and the women's bathroom was a little bit closer, I go in the women's bathroom, use the bathroom, come out, no big deal. A couple minutes later, the manager goes to the men's bathroom where this guy was. He goes in there, comes out, has the craziest look on his face, and you look down in his hands and he's got a wad of $100 bills. A wad. He goes, picks up the phone, calls the cops. Says, hey, I want you guys to know, I don't know what the deal is, but some guy came in here and left a bunch of money in our toilet. Now, the first thing I'm thinking, who the hell calls the cops to tell them to come get money out of the toilets? Makes no sense, right? Come to find out from that phone call that the guy had just robbed a Valley National Bank. He literally robbed them for thousands of dollars at gunpoint, came into our bathroom, dumped a bunch of money. So the cops come and they go to the bathroom and they end up taking, the money that the manager had for them, right? About 45 minutes, we're all in shock. Like, holy shit, why didn't I go into that bathroom, right? But who knows, maybe the bills have marks on them and people can tell if they're stolen. I don't know. Maybe it was a blessing that I didn't go in that bathroom. A couple minutes later, George, our manager, goes back to the bathroom, comes back to the front phone, picks up the phone, calls the cops again. Says, hey, we found some more money. Can you come get it? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, George. So they come. They come and grab the remaining money, and this is no joke. This is the funniest thing. The guy tells George, quit calling us. If you find some more money, quit calling us. In other words, we probably could have just kept that stash of cash, but here's the thing. It's not like I found it, George found it. George did the right thing. I mean, it really is the right thing to do. Are you the type that if you find a wallet, you try to find the person that owns it? Apparently, George is that type of person. So again, there's never anything wrong with doing the right thing. But sometimes doing the right thing is challenging. There are so many of us that would have grabbed that money, put it in our pocket, told everybody, hey, the men's bathroom is closed. Go in the women's bathroom, right? And of course, then I kind of looked under every nook and cranny, but it was just really unbelievable how much money this guy, to give you an idea, I think he dumped off like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of $100 bills. Is that amazing or what? So I have these little stories in my life, and I have so many more, and I'll share them with you. The truth is, even the great stories can slowly but surely through time be forgotten. But sometimes we have things that inspire us and make us remember those old stories. So again, if you guys have a fun story that you'd like to share and you don't mind writing a long comment, leave it. I read all the comments. So, and I do enjoy them. That's the one interesting thing. As a YouTube content creator, I never thought I would enjoy these random comments so much, but one of my favorite comments is the good morning that I get from Elaine every day. Elaine, your good morning every day just lets me know right off the bat there's a venter there with me. Elaine, every day you're in your apartment or in your home. You might have a house, but I think you're in an apartment. But every time you're there, you're doing your cycling and you work out with me every morning. And I just want you to know I'm going to be here every day just like you are. So, Elaine, thank you for your constant good mornings. Elaine, you have a way of making everybody happy in the morning. And Elaine, let's be honest. Out of the last 150 some odd days that you've been saying good morning every day, there's probably the occasional morning that's not the best. But I've never heard you say bad morning. Oh, this is a shit morning. Good morning, wake up. I've never heard you say that. It's always just good morning. Stay positive. Keep going. You know as well as I do, after you lose 35 pounds, that next 15 pounds might not be easy. Might take you a little while. But I know how you won't hit it. You won't hit it by quitting, and you will hit it by moving forward, continuing on. Here's our battle cry, everybody. The walk must go on. Keep walking. There is no such thing as a plateau. What it is life. Sometimes we eat cake. Sometimes we eat an extra portion of food. Sometimes we say, I don't want water. I want a glass of wine. I want a beer. I want a root beer. I want a Coke. That's life. Just down it. Enjoy it. Enjoy every second that it's in your palate, and then go on with your life. Drink some water. Tell yourself, I don't need that third or fourth donut. The key is to stop yourself after one donut. Remember, the reason you can stop yourself is because you're not saying never again, okay? When we tell ourselves, I'm never eating a sweet candy bar again, that makes us crave candy. But if you can have a candy bar and say, okay, I'm gonna go right back to my routine, and if I eat a candy bar again next week, no big deal. Make it where your candy bar is a once a week treat rather than a twice a day, detriment to your health. Anyway, you guys have made my health. You guys have made me healthier today and made me happy. I appreciate you all so, so much from the bottom of my heart. Sorry that I was babbling, but today I'm just so excited. And I love the Venters. Thank you so much for being there with me. You guys are the best team ever. And have a wonderful day. We'll talk again tomorrow.